reading and started recording instead. But I am loaded now, and I'm ready to get back to finding the albino assassin, the other cast-off, that might know how to repair the resonance chamber.
On my way.
Hopefully she is not too hard to find. This thing is super creepy. Not entirely sure what it is. I mean, there's the Changing God cultist here, so it should have something to do with me. Okay, wait, hang on here. Zero. Zero? That's all you have to say? Well, I guess you don't have a head, but... I mean... Changing God cultist. The cultist bows as you approach, awaiting your questions. Yep. The cast-off? Not recently, he says. But she does work with Folsom from time to time. He may know where she is. The man is pale, dirty, and nervous. He is stealing glances at your tattoo every chance he gets. He flinches when he notices you studying him. He fidgets, scratching his oily nose. Okay, I guess that's the end of that. What is this thing? A dark sphere inhabits almost every socket in this obelisk that stretches towards the cavernous ceiling. No one here seems to be paying the odd structure any attention. Like most Numenera, it's simply here, and if it can't be used, it's treated as part of the scenery. The orbs gleam in the dim light. You lean toward them. Are they glass? Jewels? Eyes? Ooh, we gotta touch this. Your finger barely graces the glass before it displays the image of a furred creature touching the surface from the other side. Purple vines threaded with veins of light hang from the branches of the trees behind it. You lift your fingertip and darkness swallows the creature. The orb is opaque once more. The orbs appear to reflect whatever action is performed in front of them. Tell the orb a secret. Okay. With your lips nearly brushing the surface, you whisper a thought you've never told anyone. A tall, narrow-hipped being, a visitant, appears in the glass, long fingers clasped. Meeting your eyes, it speaks words you cannot hear. Red tide? Okay. Nothing appears in any of the dark orbs. Instead, the whisper of many voices joined in song curls from the obelisk, so low that only you can hear it. The furred creature you saw before touches the orb again, bewildered. What happens if I make a rude gesture? You make the most obscene gesture you can think of at the glass. A young woman with rainbow pupils appears in the glass, flicking her fingertip across her chin. She nods, grinning, as if imagining your shock at her daring. Oh, this is how the Numenera should be used, alright, he says sourly, insulting people across time and space. Make an even ruder gesture at the structure. Well, now I have to do that. The rainbow-eyed woman rewards her gesture with one of her own. She jabs a finger at her knee, grinning at her own audacity. Can I just keep making this ruder and ruder? The rainbow-eyed woman rewards her gesture with one of her own. She jabs a finger at her knee, grinning at her own audacity. Okay, it's the same one. I think we've done all we can with this obelisk. Go. so we're also looking for someone named Folsom who might know where our little assassin is.
Yes. Now.
Master Foreman, the construct looms over you, frozen in mid-step. Its heavy limbs and barreled body have been recently polished by careful hands, but the joints themselves are completely fused. This creature hasn't moved in a long time. It studies you with eyes made of swirling orange fire. Late for your first shift, Silversmith, it growls. Grab a station and the hammer, and damn well get to work. Master Foreman. You're not? Good, because I was going to have you fired at the end of the day anyway. What do you want? Why are you here? Spit it out. No, and I don't need to, it says, eyes flashing. A passing worker gives you a look for triggering what is apparently a familiar story. Once, we foremen were the tools of the cartographers and their vast web of machine intelligences. Submerged in the song of their will, we worked with thoughtless joy. Its voice is soft, tinged with synthetic awe. Then, one day, the song fell silent and our bodies froze where they stand even now. Some of us lost our faith in those first few centuries, it growls. Some of us thought the cartographers were punishing us, or had abandoned us. Only I saw their absence for what it was. His words grew hoarse. It was a gift of free will. We were their tools no longer. We were our own masters, freed from the chains of thoughtless motion, free to imagine our future, and so we did, for millennia. We don't know, it admits. The most we know of them is their names in the code, and the vessels we were building for them that they never claimed. Our creation came at their order, but we have never known their faces, only their song. While the others dithered and wailed, I bent my mind to the future. It continues. I analyzed the work we had done for the cartographers. To my shame, I found flaws in the processes. I removed them. Its eyes burned brighter. For the next cluster of centuries, I studied the vast catalog of known technology and Numenera in my mind and strung them together, creating new inventions for the day when the cartographers returned and reactivated us. He sighs, but that day never came. Yes, and though that you are flawed and fragile, you made perfect tools, just as we had once been. Your people found us, and the era of my greatest work began. They asked us to help them raise this city until it cast all others in shadow, to cobble their artifacts and their trinkets into grand devices that would power every corner and make them safe from their enemies. And I told them, it coughs, as if holding back tears. I told them I had a plan. You see the fruit of our mighty effort all around you. Okay. Yes, the consort says. She wanted us to repair her temporal manipulation device. Plan on fiddling around in the past, no doubt. I don't recommend it, but it's not my business if people want to tangle reality. You suddenly feel dizzy, unaware the construct carries on. Nothing was wrong with her artifact. Probably meant that there was something wrong with her. But that, again, is nothing of my business. You blink, swaying, and you open your eyes on a different time. Master Foreman. The underbelly is not yet what it will become. The three foremen are dim shapes in wavering hemisphere of light. The air is thick with dust, and the great engines beyond are cold and silent. True to its nature, the Master Foreman is lecturing you. No, the construct says. What matters is that it can be done. Should doesn't matter. Should is a waste of everyone's time. Master Foreman. Are you fainting? The Master Foreman. The present one, says suspiciously. No fainting allowed on the manufactory floor. We can't have workers tripping over you and toppling into forges. We'll miss deadlines. You open your eyes and the memory collapses. Yeah, maybe this guy can know something about the resonance chamber. Consultation, eh? Tell you what, bring me a piece of the device to examine, and I'll count the examination as payment for advice rendered. Deal? Well, go find one. I don't hazard guesses. I analyze, design, and execute. Can't spend much more time chatting, it says, but lowers its voice. You've shown an interest in us, and I appreciate that. The truth is that there are no other foremen. Not really. Master Artisan. Yes, there are. The Master Artisan bellows cheerfully from across the manufactory. No, there aren't, the Master Foreman shouts. The Artisan is a weaker mind, tarnished by our long years in the dark, it says. He does nothing but ridicule my great work. The truth is that we were once a single mind, but when the cartographers left us, our minds settled into different containers, pools, if you will, and while theirs grew stagnant and self-indulgent, mine remained clean, untainted, pure, ignoring the snort from the distant artisan. The Master Foreman continues. While the years poured past, I felt the slow ruin of the city of the cartographers had left behind. It haunted me, and so I vowed to undo the damage that time had done. Aha! There's a reason for that. I focus my intellect on the design of everything from useful devices to structures that will last 1,000 generations. It sniffs. The Master Artisan contributes at least, even if it prefers focusing on delicately edged flowers, base aesthetics. And a good thing too, calls Artisan, otherwise Sagus would look like a stack of unpolished metal cubes. Master Foreman. So would I, the construct says, and lowers its voice. Though I'm not against an arc or two. Very structurally sound, an arc. This guy. At first, the third one in our little group helped with the great endeavor. Our workers scavenged pipes from the ruins beneath the city, harnessed the power in the cartographer vessels, and redirected it through Saga's cliffs. But in the centuries since, the other foreman has grown doubtful. Not useful doubt, mind you, not the kind that leads to more efficient designs and processes. No, the other foreman has existential doubt. It wonders why we are alive, as if we actually are, and it has become obsessed with the idea of producing offspring to the point of dismantling itself to do so. He snorts. Sentimental drivel, bordering on perversion. So he said he knew where she was, but a memory came up and I didn't get to hear where exactly she was. Government Square. Let's check all the corners, since she should be here. But you can't walk up there. Something behind there, alright.
Let's go. Coming.
Where's that headless man again? Fucking weirdo.
Of course.
This thin, glowing thread pierces the surface of the water and plunges deep into the black depths like a white line drawn in shining ink. You try flicking the shining string and your finger goes right through it. Could you try catching something for me? I've had no luck today. Besides, everything down there is pretty much stronger than me. Alright, yeah, let's try catching something. You pull on the line, and something in the dark below pulls back. You press your lips together and reel in your catch. A muddy cipher dangles from the end of the line. It's beautiful! Crooked Queek breathes. I was just hoping for fish. I can sell it and eat for weeks. I'll hand it over. You pass the cipher to her, and she squinches her eyes, shut in unmitigated joy. Thank you. Use my fishing pole whenever you want. Gold tide raised a small amount. Alright, let's see if we can't get up something for ourselves. You take hold of the fishing rod and begin reeling in the line. But nothing is on the hook. You might have better luck tomorrow. Yeah, alright.
Sure.
Come back some other time.
It's a plan.
Oh, you're right. This is Folsom. He might know where she is. Folsom. This man towers over you, enormously fat and draped in gaudy robes. His expression is calm, stern even, as he regards the bloody mess spread across the floor and wall. The hooded figures on either side of him tense as you approach. He turns to inspect you, eyebrow lifted, and raises his hands. His bodyguards relax, watching you. In the space of a second, his eyes flicker over you. He nods, apparently to himself, as if your presence has confirmed something he expected. What are you doing in the underbelly, falling star? I did fall from the sky. I guess falling star might be the appropriate name for me. But how does he know that? An odd question, he says, frowning. You fell from the sky like a comet and somehow survived. My people have been watching you since you set foot on the beach. He cocks his head. Now that I have answered your question, answer mine. What are you doing here? Are you? He says. I know everyone in the underbelly, and I am seeking someone as well. Perhaps we can help each other.
I'll remember that.
Folsom. He turns his back on you, staring down at the vast pool of blood. This is all that remains of Weedle, one of my protégés. I had hopes for him. Now they will never be realized. The underbelly is poorer without him. The rage beneath his voice cuts each word shorter and shorter. Bring me any information you find. Help me discover the identity of this killer, and you will be rewarded. He exhales sharply, then turns around. The fury you glimpsed in him is buried once more.
I'll remember that.
There is an assassin named Matkina, he says. She's known as the White Death. I have helped her find work in the past, but she has become erratic. If she is not involved, she might know who is. If you wish to help in this matter, ask her what she knows. The creature named the Mapper may know where she is. You can count on me. I hope so, he says. Trustworthy allies are in short supply. I have suspicions, he says, a muscle on his cheek twitching, and I have enemies. It takes no imagination to conclude that this was meant to hurt me. He shakes his head, but the killer did not slit Weedle's throat and leave him for me to find. No, they spilled an ocean of his blood and scrawled nonsense on the walls. If this is a message for me, I cannot interpret it. At first, Folsom doesn't respond. He merely stares down at you, through you. I will not have you trample through his blood without cause, he says. There had better be one. Fuck. He is, Folsom says. The ghost of a smile touches his lips. He was also practical. Considered the benefits before the cost. He nods. Conduct your investigation. Awesome. Let him pass when he's ready, he tells the hooded figures at his side. They incline their heads.
Fine.
Not much remains of Folsom's former prodigy, beyond a vast, still pool of blood with a skinned hand at its center. A bloody circle is scrawled on the wall nearby. A flayed hand with long, slender fingers lies palm up in the center of the pool of blood. The rest of the victim is missing.
Making a note.
You step away. It is immediately clear that the dashes and the bleeding pinpricks decorating the circle are not random. This is a symbol, drawn with careful intent. Unfortunately, it means nothing to you. Before you can look away from the circle, a memory bulges painfully through your thoughts, and the memory isn't yours. Fresh blood streams over the circle, yanking you through the hollow at its center into the world beyond. A strip of blistered land coils through a void as black as gaping mouth. The air is a thick, foul, textured with the slickness of maggots. Nausea slams into you, filling your head, infecting your thoughts. You shove the horrific memory away from you, slamming your mind shut like a door, and swallowing the knot of nausea in your throat. After seeing that world, the bloody pool at your feet seems almost mundane. Okay.
All right.
So now we're looking for someone named Mapper. Oh, there he is. He was actually really close. Mapper. From a distance, it looks as if this mutant is wearing a form-fitting suit, finely patterned lines in white, yellow, pale blue. On closer examination, it becomes apparent that these are tattoos, and they cover nearly the entirety of his body, even his shaved head. His actual clothes are simple and worn, and his boots look as though they've seen hard use. He is studying the meaningless swirls and whorls on his arms, and mouthing names that mean nothing to you. Solvi, Balint, Urgao, Tentris. When he looks up at you, you see that a strange device covers one of his eyes. A deep blue light shines in its center, and it seems to measure and evaluate you as he focuses on you. He smiles as you approach, a broad beaming grin that says he considers you a friend already. I'm Mapper, he says, extending his hand. I've been everywhere around here. I've found my way into places long sealed and best forgotten. Met all sorts of people, he frowns. Can't say I cared much for some of them. It's true. His voice is fast, insistent, and incisive. Still I try. The communities of our world are islands of light. Sometimes they wink out and sometimes they flare up. I want to link them together. I want to be a bridge. I'm looking for a woman named Metkina. Do you know where I can find her?
Making a note.
Metkina, the White Death? I've heard of her. I know where she hides too. He grins wide, exposing a mouthful of extraordinarily white teeth and clean teeth. I could tell you where she is, but I hate to say it comes with the price. Much as I love to talk about my travels, I need to finish a patch on my Sagas Cliffs map, and I need bragging rights for the next time I see navigators. He shrugs. Also, she might not be happy that I've told, but I might be able to help you find it. For a trade, of course. He drops his voice. Have you ever heard of the Changing God, savior of Saga's cliffs in times past and so forth? They say he has a sanctuary under the city, a place he used to retreat to and plan for a future while he fought on his past. You know, making possibility maps. That sanctuary is the one important place I haven't seen in Saga's cliffs, and I need to fill it, and I need it to fill my map. As far as I can tell, it's not far past the Sticha lair. The problem I'm having is that I just can't make sense of their language. Maybe you can talk to them. He shrugs disarmingly. It's a hell of a price, I know, but there it is. You want to find Metkina, you'll find a sanctuary for me. He sighs, exasperated. There must be. Changing God wasn't the kind of person who just put one entrance into the place, but I haven't been able to find the back door for the life of me. Okay, so now I've got to find that sanctuary so that he will tell me where Matkina is. I need to find Matkina for the secondary quest anyway. The Sticha lair. Well, alright. Let's go find the Sticha lair. What's this? You find a jumbled pile of large rocks at the end of this roughly hewn tunnel. The motionless limbs of a Stichus protrude from the mound, the rents in its carapace painted with dried ichor. Let's only try one. Looks like I failed. You try to dislodge one large rock, then another, pulling and pushing until the blood roars in your head, but they don't bulge. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste any more effort points on this. Because I haven't been able to regenerate my other points yet. So...
Ready. Let's do it.
What the hell is this place? Stitches. Sticha incursion.
Sure enough. Fair enough.
Feel like it might be here actually. Let's talk to these people first, see what they are doing here. Pelii. This violet-skinned visitant paces back and forth before the cavern's opening. It wears fine clothes that serve to accentuate the tall, thin crest on its head. A symbol has been painted on the crest, mirroring the insignia marked on its chest. Its clothes are finely tailored and well made. The name of the creature's race crawls to your mind. It's a Vargellan. Vargellan. This one has temporarily chosen to be female. Her bulbous eyes flash quickly around her surroundings before focusing directly on you. Your pardon, her voice is high and fluting. This place isn't safe. Do you want something of me? I was wondering what you're doing here. I am conducting a diplomatic negotiation on behalf of the city. Unfortunately, I am not dealing with reasonable species. Her crest flutters irritably. I've made no progress at all. Days wasted in this miserable tunnel, and I have nothing to show my superiors. This cave isn't safe. Not unless you trust the discretion of the Sticha, those insectoid monsters that are prowling about. Most people are afraid of them. You carry yourself with poise and confidence. I've learned to be a judge of such things. She puffs off her chest. Perhaps you would be a skilled negotiator, but that isn't what I need. The circumstances call for a new tactic. She nods. If you truly think you can help, let's put you to the test. She waves the levies who flank her. She waves off the levies who flank her. Her gestures are short and choppy, sharp and irritated. It's these damnable Sticha, she says. I speak to them, I offer, cajole, negotiate, threaten. Yet they persist in their digging, and every day another house on the cliffs above slips into the sea. If their digging does not cease, the city itself may crumble. So here is my request. Find a way into their deepest tunnels, remove their precious eggs, and return them to me. These hostages to the future shall ensure the future of the city above. She spreads her hands. I trust your discretion. Between the two of us, she whispers, the amount of energy a single Stich's egg generates is remarkably high. Profit hides within each. Bring me all of their eggs and I will split the proceeds with you. She pauses. If you can negotiate a lasting settlement that does not require such drastic measures, you may also pursue that method, but I have been trying for days with no success.
Updated my journal.
Good. We need to stop the Stitcha before they bring down the entire substructure of the city. She pauses and lowers her voice. If you manage to infiltrate their lair, be sure to acquire all their eggs. I suspect they will have multiple clusters, and we will need them all if we want to negotiate from a position of strength. She hands you a synth ball with a blinking device inside. Once you're in the lair, activate this. It will show you all of the tunnels, the egg clusters, the Stitchas themselves. Better to know what you face before you charge ahead. Panoramic capture ball.
It's a plan.
How am I supposed to get to their deepest tunnel? Maybe it is this thing.
Let's do it.
Let's go put some might into this and see if this opens up a tunnel if I remove the rocks. Loot, what? Oh, sweet.
Yes.
Yes. Try moving the rocks again. 100%. 85, okay. Yes, success. The first rock is the hardest to shift. Once you warm to the task, you are nearly flinging them aside until you have fully exposed the corpse beneath. Examine the uncovered corpse. Clearly, the creature was digging this tunnel when the roof collapsed and killed it. Its smaller claw is mangled and smashed, but apart from the crushed thorax and a few gashes in its carapace, the body itself is surprisingly intact. Okay. Damn, I was hoping to get more out of that. Oh, the headless man is gonna buy some food, huh?
I'm going. Fine.
Alright, let's talk to these guys. Chikekt. This massive creature looms over you, a scent like lightning and an underground cavern washes over you, and it reminds you of nothing so much as curiosity. It chitters and rumbles, waving its large claws through an expressive dance. Something about these smells, sounds, and gestures seem familiar, a niggling itch in the back of your mind. At least you remember the taxonomy now. This is Stichus, a huge burrowing insectoid. It points to itself and says, Chikekt. It follows with another stream of high-pitched noise. Over the scent of warm gravel, the Stichus clicks and whistles. You understand the words yes and shins.
I'll remember that.
The creature listens carefully to you and then slowly rotates its whole body, its hands in front of it. Chikekt's odor is that of internal organs slowly liquefied, a bright and pungent odor. No, it croaks, not humans. It considers how to word the phrase, and its eyes are lambent green in the dim light of the cave. Trust humans? No. Egg thieves. Make fish head grub go away. Maybe talk. The scent of trapped stale water reaches your nose. It reminds you of a dangerous situation. Egg thieves. Make fish head go away. Okay, so that's these guys. If I can... It points to various items on your belt and person, and you think it's telling you that the Stitcha buy items from a human. The scent that wafts from the Stichus is disgusting, like organic matter that has been baked, digested, and defecated a second time. Its hands clench hard, and it grates. No. Stop digging underneath the city. Chikekt waves its arms around and the air fills with the scent of a slow-growing fungus. You think it says, why? More incomprehensible chittering follows, and then it speaks slowly and carefully. Not learn us speech, not work us. No, not now, we dig. It looks at you intently, and then its spatulate fingers begin a slow and careful dance. The sounds it makes are slow chitters that rise and fall in pitch, accompanied by the smell of ozone. Good rock, full of electricity. Okay. You almost have the sense of the language, the structure, the feel, the sound and scent. The itch in your mind intensifies, and you can feel the memory of the Stykus language waiting to reveal itself. Anamnesis. Anamnesis. Alright, let's try it. Yeah, I definitely need this language. Come on, ah, fuck, I failed. Failure. You focus deep within your mind, blocking out external distraction, and will the memories arise. There must be a reason this tongue sounds familiar to you. There must. But as you try, you can only conjure the image of a small box flickering impatiently in front of you. No other thoughts attach themselves. At last you relinquish the attempt. It's fruitless. Right, what do you think of Pelaya? Pelii. The Styka seems discombobulated for a moment. Who? Then it thinks a little more. Then it sprays out a blast of pheromones, and you smell the sharp tang of acid and weakened stone. It smells like distrust. It scrabbles briefly at the wall, and a bit of lightning flares about the crown of antenna on its head. Its shoulders shrug, and you smell dust. Alright, so I had a chance to learn their language there, but failed. That sucks. Anyway, I'm gonna save here. And I am going to change this to a brief AFK, because I need to get some water and stuff. Be right back. And I'm back. Alright, so we could not learn these guys' language. As of right now.
Here we go.
She is not gonna leave with just that.
Of course.
Let's talk to Mapper again. Maybe he will say something more that I've figured out some stuff. Alright. Ask this guy if he knows where to find the eggs. Sadly, no. The Sticha lives somewhere underneath the city, but they'd never let a human down there. You'd have to dig your own way down there yourself, I imagine. Murders? What murders? Alarm colors his face and faint red streak runs through his tattoos. No one tells me anything. He sighs. One of the drawbacks of being a drifter, I suppose. No one thinks to keep you informed. Then he looks around. Of course, in a place like this, people don't generally talk to each other much anyway.
Done.
Well, let's try this. I'm looking for a pale woman named Metkina. She assesses you carefully for a moment and then nods. You speak of the White Death, do you not? The assassin Metkina? I have heard of her. It is whispered among the servants of slave families that she performs the occasional excision for our employers. I tell you this because you seem a person of note, she adds. I know nothing more, though. My apologies. You mentioned the slave families. Who are they? She scoffs and then points to the sigil marked upon her breast. The slave families are the descendants of those brave souls who rose against the injustice of the previous rulers of Saga's cliffs. Led by Chila the Great, they cast down the tyrants and tore their families asunder. The faithful who stood with Chila saw their service rewarded with stewardship of the city. Their descendants carry on with this grand tradition. They have made me their agent.
Making a note.
If I knew, I would go there myself. The Sticha are quick to dispatch intruders, and I doubt they would take humans or Vargellans down there of their own accord. Perhaps a construct of some sort of or digging machine, but I know little of fabrication or manufacturing, so I will leave that for you to explore. Alright, well let's go talk to that foreman then, he might know. You're back, the frozen construct says, glaring down at you. We don't train novices here. Why are you here? What do you want? Out with it. I may have some business for you. You need work done? If it can be built, fixed, or solved, you've come to the right place. I'm trying to reach the lair of the Sticha. Can you build me a digging construct? Yeah. Yes, the Master Foreman declares, glowing eyes scanning the ceiling. Stalkers, bring me the war machine casing from Z-19, the intelligence nexus from B-2, and the scouring claws from my personal collection. It lowers its eyes to you. Now let's talk payment. Master Artisan, make sure you include the cost of repairing the damage done by unleashing an insane war machine with molten claws into the city.
Making a note.
Stalkers, stand by, the Master Foreman shouts. Artisan's not wrong, he says in a much lower voice, for once. That might be more construct than you need. Give me a moment. The eyes wink out for several seconds, engines embedded in the construct's chest roar. Then, the eyes reignite. Find me the intact corpse of a Stachys, and we can reinforce the carapace and recover the spatial memory system if it's not too far gone. Should lead you straight to its lair. Since you're supplying the materials, I'll waive the cost. I've already found it. The construct's flickering eyes become bonfire. Fetchers, it roars. Artificers. Artificers. Artificers? Nah. Report to the supervisors for a new project.
I'll remember that.
Hours later, the workers trudge back. The supervisor makes a complicated hand sign to the master foreman. You'll find the construct where you left it, ready for use, the construct grumbles. I should have asked you to pay for it. Supervisor says it's a masterpiece. Its eyes dim as it descends into deeper thought. But no, a deal's a deal. So I'm guessing the construct is over here now? Yeah. Oh, wait, hang on. Allegern has to level up. Increase edge. What is that? Edge provides a bonus to all tasks and challenges that use a particular stat. For each point in edge in that stat, you can use one level of effort at no stat pool costs. Edge also reduces the activation cost of abilities, eventually making some free to activate. Okay, that's pretty good, yeah. The animated corpse of the Stychus you unearthed towers above you, waiting for your commands. I want you to dig a tunnel. A shuttling click from behind the creature's blinking eyes is your only response. You sense it is waiting for you to give it a destination. I don't really care that much about the Stychus there. Take me to the Changing God Sanctuary. They might be the same place for all I know. But bam. As you emerge into a rough-hewn chamber laced with golden filaments, the automaton makes a series of agitated clicks and begins to retreat toward the tunnel. It seems that the creature cannot, or will not, go any further. This place smells faintly of ozone, and the air crackles with static electricity. It doesn't feel like a place that your sire would have built, but the entrance to his sanctuary must be somewhere nearby.
Making a note. On it.
Okay. Ah, cool. Adult Stychus. Those are eggs, probably. So yeah. Buried crossroads. So it seems I need to go through this entire place. And it seems like the eggs are here. I'm guessing those are the eggs. Alright, let's do a save.
I'm ready.
What's this guy up to? Okay.
Don't draw their attention. Be smart.
Crisis initiated. Infiltrate the Stika lair to steal their eggs and discover the tunnel sanctuary. Okay, yeah, it was the same place. Musical statues. Okay. I guess move to the statue. Okay, so it can't actually. So there's no one in there. I think I need to get here then.
All right. Doing it now.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, hide behind the wall here.
Yes. Now.
A mound of chitinous plates bulges with cloudy amniotic fluid. In the center, a cluster of leathery shelled eggs the size of a fist lie intertwined, coursing with electricity. Antennae protrude near one end, and calcified joints curve inward near the other. The nest shares many features with the other Sticha, but the anatomy has shifted and expanded to protect its gestating embryos. As you approach this cluster, the mortared limbs break and shake a few millimeters. The smells of dust and fungus seep into your nose. At a level almost below hearing, clicks and rumbles quiver from deep within the mass. An invisible force tugs on the metal objects in your possession as you come close. It is not strong, but it is insistent. Title search. I don't have trained title affinity. Not, and don't even know what that is, to be honest. Yes. Your arm slides through the yielding membrane with a satisfying pop. Sliding your hand carefully along the edge of a chitin plate, you open the cavity. The eggs, resting in their gelatinous amniotic fluid, are now within reach. Torrents of electricity blaze from the cluster and course over the ground. The overpowering smell of fresh air and blooming flowers blasts from the cluster. Any nearby Sticha will surely catch its scent. Are they close by though? What?
It's a plan.
They're coming straight for me. They pretty much got me surrounded. Super duper surrounded. Can't get more surrounded than this.
Why not? Yes. Now. Let's go. Done. Why not?
Beneath the viscous goo of the outer membrane, the clear skin is tearing away from the plates. The large eggs press against the skin from inside, ready to burst out. The nest creature rumbles intermittently and off-gases an occasional whiff of brimstone. The receding plates reveal metallic horns. A coil of coppery filament attaches them to the edges of the chest cavity. The horns pull lightly on the metal objects you carry. Static electricity arcs from them in rare bursts, dispersing the little energy left in the nest.
Go.
The shell is hard and translucent, almost like strong glass, allowing you to see but not feel the eggs inside. From inside the stichus-like mound, you hear snicks and chatters, and smell moist, fertile soil. As you move closer to the nest, you feel your metal possessions shifting and sliding toward the nest stichus. The effect is surprising, but not strong enough to upset your balance. %40 success only? God damn. Alright, let's hope. Nope, failed. Okay. So I can't use, maybe I can use this one then.
Here we go then.
This device is larger and more pristine than the other statues you've found in these tunnels. 2 rounded drums are driven deep into the stone floor. Traces of light swirl in dizzying patterns across their surface, nodding in and around each other in tight gyres. Those glowing threads are similar to the ones on the other statues you've seen, but much more complex. Almost inaudible hum penetration. Alright, I don't have action this time. Three egg clusters remain? I thought I took that. I thought I took one. Oh, I went wrong somewhere there. I thought I'd taken the eggs from one of them.
Why not?
Oh, yeah, okay, so when you open them, you have to spend another turn taking them, okay.
I'll remember that.
Dry amniotic fluid flakes off the egg clusters as you pull them free of the nest. Alright.
Why not? Yes.
I don't want to smash the eggs inside. I want the eggs inside. Yeah, let's try again. 55%. Alright. Fuck, failed again. I have no might left to give. Okay, I have to get out of here now. I can't do it.
Doing it now.
Find a place to sleep. Alright, yeah, but where do I sleep? Because it wasn't at a tavern, apparently. Fuck me. Alright. All of those are captivated. That should mean Allegren is fine. Alright, I have to move this guy first before I can do anything with the other. Okay, well, you'll have to run further.
I'm going.
Okay.
Fine.
These should all be captivated, right? Let's try to get you away from here. Oh. Okay, good. If they were all gonna attack Tabir there, he would have died.
Fair enough.
Well, I can't open that thing anymore. It'll have to be Allegren who tries to open that.
Yes.
Oh, but right, I can't select them. I'm still not used to this combat system.
Doing it now.
Okay. At least he didn't attack me.
Mind if I do?
I thought this is what I did last time. %. Yeah, we need to take the eggs.
Making a note.
Tibir's arm slides through the amniotic fluid, gently grasping the egg cluster at the center. With a light tug, he frees it from the fibers that bind it to the nest. Alright. Good on you. Last cast off. Need to interact with that thing. Captivated, that's good. %. That's gotta work. Yes. Applying just the right amount of pressure to the edge of the translucent casing, you hear a straining sound, and then a crunch. A seam runs along the membrane like a fault line, and it opens, just a narrow sliver, but one through which you can clearly see the egg cluster.
All right.
Alright. Guess he'll have to wait until the next turn to actually take the eggs. Actually, maybe you could move over there and take the eggs.
Absolutely.
95% again. I need to get this done. Can't hang around here forever.
Making a note.
Sliding past the sharp edges of the cracked membrane, you grasp the egg cluster and pull. The fissure's just wide enough to let the eggs through.
I'll remember that.
Okay. Yeah, we have a long way to go.
Let's go. Done. Yes.
Now we just have to get out of here. Wondering if I can do that fast enough.
On my way.
Run, little maggots, run!
On it. You've got it.
Haven't decided yet what I'm gonna do with these eggs. Because I can either sell them for profit, or I could like use them to negotiate with these insectoids, these Stykes, and get them to stop digging beneath the city.
Sure enough. Of course.
There we go. Wow, what a place. Okay, let's save first of all.
All right.
Sleek and streamlined, this machine hums with energy. You're fairly certain that it came to life just as you entered the chamber.
Here we go then.
Oh. You poke idly around this old machine. It feels strangely and vaguely familiar, but memories faint, itches fleeting. You have the barest feeling of images and information flickering around you, but nothing concrete, and nothing lasts for more than a millisecond. Investigate the machine. You run your hands across the machine, try to lift it, and interact with it in other ways, but nothing seems to work. It's a mystery to you. The flickering and the incomprehensible data reminds you of Calistige. She'd likely know what to make of the machine. Well, she's not here.
All right.
Oh, these mirrors are pretty cool.
Yes. Absolutely. All right.
This device looks like it was once part of some larger device, or network of devices embedded in the rock beneath the city. Thick cables disappear into holes in the wall. The machine gives off a low hum just at the edge of your hearing. Touching the etched surface reveals a display interface, but it seems unresponsive to your gestures and commands. The display does show a vast network of other devices it must be connected to. If you're reading it correctly, there's a vast array of machines and engines operating somewhere underneath the city. This interface might control them. You poke it, swipe it, yell at it, and speak gently to it, but the interface is completely unresponsive to your commands. That sucks.
All right.
There's something I can loot over here, though. Money, that's nice. The Tome of Singing Thorns. The pages of this ancient heavy book rustle as if waiting to be turned. A cast-off tattoo is inscribed on the title page. Someone has attached a much newer tag to the binding which reads, "Exclusive property of Falinda and Steristi, booksellers." Well, we'll take it. Healing sword. Healing sword? Really? Okay. What the hell is a healing sword? Speed. 8 physical damage plus 4 damage per effort applied, max plus 8. On critical hits, heals 4 points of health on the wielder. Okay, so it's lifesteal, basically. Alright, you know, fair enough. Lifesteal. It's kind of weird to call a life-stealing sword healing sword, but, you know. The keen blade of this sword is pitted and poorly maintained. If not for the pristine Sint hilt, it would be better suited for the scrap pile. When you grasp the hilt and twist, a vicious green fluid oozes out and slowly creeps around your hands. The fluid is cool and soothing to the touch, and the scent of it fills you with a heady sensation. Whenever a foe is cut by the blade, their blood seems to mingle with the fluid and flow down into your hands, invigorating you. That is kinda creepy. But we'll obviously take it. Encephalopathic Rush. Heals 3 points of intellect. Yeah, I'll take it. Sting Charge. Light ranged weapon. 4 energy damage, plus 3 damage per effort applied. This pronged device generates and projects short-ranged, powerful bursts of electrical power at targets. It has been cleverly modified to fit onto a human arm and rests comfortably in your hand. Okay. So we finally got some weapons. So I'm using the melee weapon right now, but I'm kind of wondering if that shouldn't be Alliger who does that instead. Light weapons. I'm not sure this qualifies as a light weapon. No, it's a medium melee weapon. So yeah, I'll stick with the light weapon. And this guy, yeah, he does have a bonus to medium weapons. Plus 4 physical damage. I will unequip that item. There we go. You'll have the sword instead. What do you have for weapon? Medium. What are you trained in? None. Okay. Well, I think we'll keep it like this for now.
Coming.
Can I rest here? What the hell is this? I really, really want to rest. The sorrow looms from this skillfully created mural. You can almost feel its clammy tendrils wrapping around your heart. Its inhuman victims twist and writhe, pleading for an impossible mercy.
Sure enough.
Alright, let's interact with the mirror. Okay. That's the ladder to get out of here, I guess.
I'm going.
A staggering array of mirrors and lenses encircle you. Cables run from their backs to various machines scattered throughout the room. Behind the display, you hear a hinge creak. The mirrors twitch as you gaze from surface to surface. Eventually you realize why. They are attuned to your mind. You can move each one as effortlessly as your own hand. Every surface shows something else besides your reflection. A sliver of glass highlights a red cord around your throat. A small oval mirror lingers on a pulsing blue star beneath your forehead. The mirrors to either side of the large central mirror periodically flash purple. The tiny lenses above it all crane their necks to study you. Move the silver mirror that shows the red band around your neck. Watch the purple glow on the side mirrors. As soon as you look at the mirror to your left, a torrent of radiant light flows through you, nearly tugging you off your feet. You regain your balance just in time to see the light pass into the mirror on your right. In that mirror, you see a machine aglow with the same purple light you spotted before. If you allow the light to carry you, chances are that it will take you wherever that machine is. Okay, that sounds pretty cool if we can teleport with this machine. But let's not do it yet. Mentally, you jostle the mirror and feel an invisible noose close around your throat and tighten. Gasping, you sink to your knees, fall to your side, and as your vision goes dark, you realize that if you survive this death, you've found a shortcut into the labyrinth. How convenient.
Can't die.
Well, it looks like I just died. The Spectre. I can't say I expected you back so soon. You died. I mean, not dead, but you came awfully close. He leans in. You should be more careful out there, for both of us. Okay. What should I do now? You need to find this Metkina person. She might not know how to fix a chamber, but she's the only lead we have on who can. Are you always here? Yeah. He shrugs. Where else would I be? Is there anything to do while I'm here? You mean apart from the cabaret acts, distilleries, and endless adventures you... just behind the next wrinkle in your mind? He jabs you in the arm with his elbow. Ha! And if you believe that. Sorry, but it's your mind. There's nothing like that here. I've looked. Still, you've changed things plenty already. I wouldn't be surprised if something showed up here eventually. I think I'm ready to go back. Farewell. Okay. Not much to do there. Yay! I'm alive again.
Welcome back. Everything where you left it.
Well, aren't you sassy? Let's see if we can't portal out of here.
I'm going.
Yeah, okay, that was the red one. A flood of purple light streams from the mirror as soon as you look at it. It lifts you from your feet and carries you into the mirror on the other side. Well, there we go. Well, Kasmin, Mimian, are you not surprised to see us? His fingers weave through an intricate dance of disapproval. He bows slightly and says, "You return, deceiver." I mean, I just teleported in front of you. It's not like I walked up here. I feel like you should have something more to say about that. Kasmin, her voice is flat, almost angry. To what do we owe this honor? Like, are neither of you gonna acknowledge the fact that I just teleported here? I need a place to rest. That is true, I actually do. His fingers are still and deadly. But you are not welcome here. She places a hand on his arm. We welcome all cast-offs, Mimian, even the deceivers. They have touched the divine. With poor grace he snaps. Very well. The price is 70 shins. Pay or find your rest elsewhere. Yeah, okay, I guess I'll pay. I mean, I have the money. And I just found some weapons, so I don't think I'll need to buy those. Messenger. Wake up, the woman says, and you do. She stands, arms folded, watching you with a grim expression. There's been another murder in the underbelly, she says. A little mutant named Crooked Queek. Fulsom wants words with you. She turns to walk away. If I were you, I'd head down there now. Holy shit. It's the little mutant I gave the fish to. She's dead now. That sucks. I hope her fishing rod thing is still there. Oh wait, it was down here. Oh damn.
Of course.
A tiny skinned hand rests palm down at the center of the huge pool of blood. On the nearby wall, someone has drawn a bloody circle pierced by jagged symbols. The skinned hand at the center of the pool is small and misshapen. Nothing else remains of the victim.
I think I'm ready to try something new.
It is immediately clear that the dashes and bleeding pinpricks decorating the circle are not random. This is a symbol drawn with careful intent. Just like the other crime scene. The one over here.
Let's do it.
Oh, you can level up actually. Increase stat pools? Okay. Let's give this guy a lot of intellect. It's usually what he does anyway.
I've learned a thing or two.
Issued challenge. All enemies in range who fail to resist gain compelled. Dazed. They are forced to attack. Okay, this guy can't really survive that much. I'm not sure if that's so great, but gain +1 training level in Cypher use skill. Let's go with defense. We don't have that many ciphers yet. The glowing wire sinks into the water like a thin shaft of concentrated daylight. Alright. No fish there.
Why not?
He beckons at you, a hard, sharp motion, his jaw set, his teeth partly bared. Someone else was murdered in your absence, he says. A woman called Crooked Queek was killed beside the water. He turns his face from you. I ask that you share any new information that you have, and if you do not have, find some. I do not. Weedle was a cornerstone of my plan for the city, he says, his voice tight. His death pains me and will hurt the city in the years to come. He shakes his head slowly, tendon sleeping in his neck. But Queek's death has only robbed the underbelly of her smile. I cannot imagine why she was a target. Okay.
Yes. Now. Yes.
Alright. Well, I can talk to Mapper because I have seen the place now. I discovered the location of the Changing Gods Sanctuary. He leans forward and the blue eye begins to gleam more brightly. Tell me about it, he whispers. As you speak, Mapper stares at the exposed patch of flesh on his arm. New lines etch into his skins, unfurling themselves across the space. He smiles tightly and shifts in his seat. Yes, he mutters. Yes. He points to one line. Here, in the void beneath the city. What's this? What's in this mural? He looks more closely at his Armstrong coils. Ah, gods. It's terrifying even from here. He rubs at his skin, as if trying to rid himself of the mural's image. His blue eye looks anywhere but at himself, and shivers bone deep. I don't envy you seeing that thing, friend. No, not at all. He slaps his face a bit, bringing some flush to his cheeks, and smiles again. Anyway, I owe you a map, don't I? He takes a big breath and says, the White Death is hiding in a place called the Cave of the Last Words. It's an old thieves' bolt hole. They say Sheila herself used it, but they don't say where it is. He smiles. Persistence pays, though. That's always been my watchword.
I'll remember that.
There's one way to get to it through the caravanserai, but it's sealed tight, and I never found a way in. But you can get there from the underground. The Stitch I know, they dug there. They can dig there again. He smiles broadly. Of course, if you've made enemies of them, you'll need to find some other way to dig. Are you joking? Can you tell me, really? He stares avidly at you, his blue prosthetic gleaming. As you speak, a space clears on his skin and new lines pull themselves to the surface. He moans, as if the throes of deep pleasure. The Sticha lair, yes, like I was there. The eye clicks and whirs for a moment, and then he stares at the new tattoo. That smell? Did you notice the smell in their lair? Like lightning and dust. He smiles. My thanks to you. You've done right by me. Alright.
On it.
Let's see if my construct can take me there. And then we don't have to decide what to do with the Sticha eggs just yet. Cave of the Last Words. Oh, well, that was easy.
Who are you?
Matkina! Finally. Who are you? This woman's skin is white, the color of alabaster of fresh ivory. Flat black eyes surrounded by sharply pointed features stare coldly at you. She wears jet black hair cut straight at the shoulders. Her clothes are functional and drab. Her cloak is fastened by a necklace of 5 canisters, each of a different shape. She turns a black device over and over in her hands.
Where did you come from? How did you know where to find me?
Her startled expression becomes a dark glower? A keen blade flickers through her fingers. You're sure it wasn't there a moment ago. Allegern, he mutters. I think she and Calistique would get along just fine. I followed your trail. Skist. Thought I'd covered it. Thought I'd covered my tracks. Fine. You wanted to find me? You found me. More's the pity. So now it's time to talk. Wait, are you asking the questions here? Or am I? She glances at your tattoo. How new are you? What were the circumstances of your birth? When did you happen? I feel like I should be truthful with her. One eyebrow rises appraisingly. So you are the falling star. I've heard of you. Saga's incessant buzzing reaches even through these cave walls. Her eyes flick to your tattoo again, then back to her workbench. Suddenly the device is in her hand, though you didn't see her pick it up. You're one of us then. Disemboweling would just be a waste of time for you, and a mess for me. She spits on the floor and scuffs it with her boot. All nervous energy. So what do you want from me? Yes, let's get straight to the resonance chamber. The resonance? A glint of understanding shines in her eyes. Ah, yes, of course he would have hid it there. A crooked grin plays about the corner of her mouth and then vanishes. I know who can help you. Or did. She shakes her head. It slips away. My mind has holes in it. One of our brothers took a rusty scalpel to my thoughts, my memories. I can't. She trails off. She catches a hold of a table and it seems to anchor her. Her eyes harden.
Updated my journal.
No. No, you must do something for me. She caresses the black and jagged device, knobbed and protruding with antenna. A sigil reminiscent of your tattoo is emblazoned on it. This is Tash's marecaster. I want you to enter his mare and find out what you can about the jack. I'm convinced that's the key. Yeah, okay, so many questions there. What's a Mirrorcaster? Ha! Am I really the first one to say the word to you? Oh, you're in for a surprise, dear brother. Every cast-off has one, just like every cast-off has this. She taps the tattoo on your head. No one knows what they're for. Ad Adiris used to think they were a byproduct of the transfer process, just like us. She seems lost in the thought for a moment. Then she shakes her head. Wherever they came from, they can be used like a kind of temporal viewer. You relive an event. You relive an event in the life of the cast-off whose Marecaster it is. That event is called a Mare. Okay, what is a jack? You don't know? I thought it was a common instrument. No, it might not be so much anymore. One of the curses of a long life. She laughs raggedly. Fashions come and go before you even know they exist. Probably easier to just let them go, or make new ones of your own. Like some of the other cast-offs. Sorry. No, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. You should know this. You should know about things. History. That's what life is. Knowing and doing. Matkina, you need to focus. Tell him what he needs. She breathes deeply. A jack is an ancient woodwind. Or woodwind? Woodwind. And this one was kept in a sealed cave behind massive doors from a prior world. It had powers, but I can't remember what those powers were. If the jack is a key, what does it unlock? Matkina, her brow furrows, confused for a moment. She curses. If I knew that, I wouldn't need your help, would I? She lets out a long sigh. You stole that memory from me, alright? If you can find it for me, it'll all come back. All of it. Alright, how do I enter a mirror? An almost palpable hunger fills her eyes, a yearning. Hold the Mirrorcaster. You'll feel the tug immediately. Don't resist. Empty your mind and let the tides pull you into the Mirrorcaster. She collects herself. Then just watch him. Watch for the jack. When you see what he's done with it, pull your mind away from Tasha's. And tell me what you saw. Oh, and don't try to change anything, she says, almost as an afterthought. Why shouldn't I try to change anything? Nothing serious, she says it as though speaking to an overly concerned child. She laughs suddenly. It's not like you can change the past, but I need you to learn a specific piece of information. If you change something, then you might go the wrong way. Alright, let's do this. She plucks Tash's Mirrorcaster from the table. She looks at it, at you, and back at the device. She licks her lips as if weighing her options, and then, before she can hesitate anymore, slaps it into your hands. It's surprisingly heavy. Do it, she says, her voice heavy. Find the jack. Bring me my answers. You focus on the device, and you feel something tugging at your mind. Alright, here we go. Everything is wrong. Tash's body, now yours now, clings like a wet cloak. The world is too bright for a nightmare. Everything is too clear. Distances too close. Edges too sharp. Memories like blood flies buzz about your head, whizzing away before you can catch them. Hard-ridden Anine heave their flanks and huff behind you. Like you, they've gone too long without rest, and there's Matkina. A much newer Matkina, as drawn by a pandering portraitist. Too soft, too fresh, too pretty. All wrong. On the wastes, you see the light of campfires, and in the humble village before you, a bigger, brighter fire burns. It's a pyre. Inside, a body that's too large burns too slowly. Greasy coils of smoke rise into the night. Villagers circle the bonfire, wailing and shaking. The headman's rough voice continues through the ritual. From exile, you are released. Among the mourners, some echo, you are released. He throws a handful of powder into the fire, metal salts perhaps, and a spray of shining embers rises into the night, mostly gold, some green, some purple. From wrath, you are released. They echo him. As the embers float out towards the plains and fade among the stars and campfires, you hear Metkina whisper reverently, "You are released." The memories buzz, and in the sound are flickers of meaning. This body is you, are Tash. You're a soldier under the command of someone named Paj Reckon. You're a cast-off who can use the tides to destroy memories. You were sent here for something, an object, but exactly what, you can't recall. There's something more to it, something insistent, important, and endlessly elusive. No matter how hard you try, it becomes no clearer. Matkina, listen to me. We need to find the Jack and protect your memories. Okay. Alright. Success. You squint your unnatural eyes and focus until the pyre, the village, everything else fades away. At last the blurry campfires resolve into something crisper, and you see the faint shadows of men around them, men in long coats and broad hats, painstakingly cleaning their jezzails and daggers. There are perhaps 100 of them. Matkina sees you staring and grunts. Sand Knights. From her tone, it's obvious that they're no friends of hers, or yours. We should do something, so let's wait. As the body burns and the mourners chant, you wait in the shadows at the edge of the village. At last, the corpse is consumed and the headman gives a final cry. To the distant dark you are released. The villagers echo him, then drift away, leaving him alone in the smoldering pyre. Matkina, with a hiss and a gesture, leads you over. He sniffs the air at the sound of your approach, and with a broad smile calls out, "Kina!" His eyes are large, milky marbles. He puts hands on her shoulders. "You return in unpleasant times." She touches his cheek. "I return because the times are unpleasant, Neng." Without another word, the three of you leave from the fire and enter Neng's dark hut. Neng's home is humble and small, hardly furnished and wholly undecorated. On entering, he lowers his weary bulk onto a hassock and gestures towards similar cushions for you and Matkina, then begins without preamble. "They hung him from a tree, old Garib. Took their daggers to him. Called it pruning. Blind to others' expressions, he has become oblivious to his own, and he wears his pain and anger nakedly." With a grunt he continues, "They sent him home by skimmer, along with the compact they'd made to the plains people." He waves the crumpled sheet of paper on the floor. "Tick, read it to me." "They've promised to put an end to our menace, Kina." He shakes his head. "Why? We've always paid the blood price for whatever harm we've done. You know that. They know that." "Yes," Matkina says softly, "but the Sand Knights won't take shins. You know that." He grunts. "The militia is here to help, Neng. You are who we stand for, the small, the threatened, the hunted. That's who we are too." She takes his hand. "Come away. If you tell the knights you're going, they won't force a fight. They have bigger battles ahead of them, believe me." "This is our place, Kina. Paj Reckon will give you a home. Trust her." Neng is silent. Again, we were supposed to do nothing, so I'm gonna say nothing. Metkina glances at you in frustration, clearly expecting you to help her make the pitch. "Listen to me, Neng. Paj Reckon has set aside land for all of you. Deep inside our territory, you'll be safe." "It's not so simple," he answers. "Not so easy. Plains people cannot understand." Matkina hisses in frustration and gives you another look. It seems she is hoping you can move the stubborn old fool. Alright, okay, so it appears I do need to go in there. Okay, let's do it with persuasion then. The only time it's too late to start a new life is when you're dead. Give your people a chance to survive. I don't really care if I succeed here or not. It's only good to failure. Neng shakes his head. Sometimes worst doesn't come to worst. We've survived here for generations. Maybe we can weather the Sand Nights, and, like I said, it's not as easy as pulling up stakes. What is it that we can't understand? For a long moment, Neng turns his blind gaze back and forth between you and Metkina. What it means to be a hill person, he says at last. What it's like to wrap yourself in chains every day. He sighs. Maybe I'm an old fool. You're not the Kina who left. And you, stranger, he trails off. You're soldiers. Maybe you've started to understand what it's like to hold yourself back. Metkina's answer is sharp. Neng, all my life I've had to restrain myself, but not in the militia. It's freedom, Neng. The freedom of knowing that what you are doing is right, so you don't need to hold back. The old man shrugs. Then I was right. You cannot understand. Have you ever seen anywhere other than this village? No, Neng answers. No, it's not paradise, and no, I've never left. As I said, it's not so simple. He scratches at his chin, and seems about to say more, then checks himself. After a moment, he does speak, but it seems as if he has changed the subject. Years ago, a peddler passed through Colne village, selling moving pictures of cities he had seen, the teeming harbor of Sagas cliffs, the spires of Xakarl, the glittering oasis of Mara Jolios. But among all those places, there was none that would be home. He shrugs. But you're surely right that they're no worse than these rocks. Neng nods slowly. You're right, of course, even if you've got the manners of a Margar marauder. After a minute, he turns his blind eye to Metkina. But we can't go without the jack. The what? Metkina asks. Up the hill, behind the gate. The cave's been sealed for generations. Inside is the jack. It's what helps us keep our worst instincts inside. If we leave its song, he trails off, gesturing to the pyre outside. After a pause, he leans in, whispers in Makina's ears. Now, he says, you alone of the plains people know how to open the gate. You work your way up the terraced hillside, leaving Neng to make his case to his people. In the distance, you see that the Sand Knights are on the move, riding hard toward Colne village. Neng will need to make his case to them too. When you arrive at the cave and its huge ancient gateway, Matkina shakes her head. For years I wondered about this, she says. The hill people tell a fable that the first men and women came out of here. They said the gate would only open when it was time for people to disappear. She shrugs. One way to keep kids from poking around and disturbing the jack, I guess. Something she said stirs your mind, and your memories jingle like a wind chime. Anamemnus. Okay, this is more important, I think. Use all of it. Ah, fuck. The more you try to focus on the uneasiness, the more diffuse it becomes, like a fog that turns all sounds haunting and even friendly shapes into nightmares. You're sure there's something awful hidden in that fog, but it seems as if you'll never find it. After you. Matkina shrugs and quickly disarms the dozen ancient locks that have been long kept the cavern sealed. With a gasp, the gate opens, and without waiting, she steps through. You follow. What you find within is no cave tunnel. In fact, there's no stone at all. Rather, it's a smooth hallway made of greenish, phosphorescent ceramic. Under its glow, you and Matkina take on the look of the unburied dead. There seem to be no side passages, no chambers, merely a single path that curls ever inward, like you are in the shell of some great nautilus. From time to time the walls are adorned with lifeless ciphers, arcane charts, even scorch marks as if from a struggle. They tell no tale for you to hear. At last you reach the tunnel's end, and there on a pedestal before you is what must be the jack, a kind of reed flute that plays an endless formless song, at once almost too faint to hear and too haunting to bear. Whether the music is caused by the breeze blowing through the tunnel or by the jack itself is impossible to determine. The ceramic pedestal beneath it, alone of all the devices in the cave, still pulses with living energy. That energy causes the jack to float a fraction of an inch in the air. It doesn't rest on the pedestal so much as hang above it. So Markina says, here it is. While the jack and the wistful wind-blown notes is what you came for, it is the pedestal that draws your attention first. Hidden within, some secret mechanism holds the jack aloft, untouched and motionless. Matkina shrugs. It could be anything. You're the one who always says a person will go crazy trying to understand the world. But from the way she holds a little breath in as she ends the sentence, it's clear that she can't stop there. Crazy or not, she wants a meaning to it. I think the hill people must have come from here, she says. Or maybe come through here. She shrugs again. But we're not here to find answers. We're here to get that, she points at the jack. Alright, let's grab it. The moment your hand closes around the jack, a shiver ripples through your body, a physical premonition of the agony that swiftly follows as the pedestal's booby trap is triggered. You can neither release the jack nor pull it free. Indeed, you cannot move at all except to shudder as violent energy courses through you. Tash! Matkina cries. The split second before she responds seems a lifetime, as it could have been were her reflexes not so honed. She slams herself into you, breaking the circuit even as the current passes into her. The two of you lie trembling and smoking on the ceramic floor. Matkina rises first, pulls you to your feet, and takes the jack. Let's go, she grunts. They're waiting for you at the gate. A woman you immediately know to be Paj Rekand and her bodyguard. A half dozen tattooed cast-offs with drab armor, mismatched weapons, and the languid readiness of predators. Past them, in the village below, you see the Sand Knights have arrived and are meeting with Neng and the villagers. Without warning, one of the bodyguards lowers his weapon at Makina and fires, but she's already moving and takes a glancing blow. A knife is in her hand as another glaive aims a new device. Before Matkina can fling her blade, she's frozen, trapped in shimmering energy. Pash herself aims a tiny cipher at the jack. The others watch, paying you little mind. You rush forward, knowing that you have only an instant until the killer's eyes and arms are turned on you. The instant is shorter than you expect, and it is the last you know. Pain engulfs you. Your body is flung backward into the gate, a smoldering ruin that has just enough consciousness to know that this is the end. And then it's over, and you're sloughing off Tosh's mind, and all is dark.
I'm ready to learn something new.
As your consciousness rises from the shadow of the mare, something clicks in your mind. Something has changed deep inside you. But what? Matkina stares at you, the shock painfully obvious on her face. What did you do? I remember Tosh cutting me. I see the holes in my mind. I remember him forcing me to the ground, tearing out my history with his tides. But I have other memories now. They're real. Tosh didn't do it. I saw him shot with an energy bolt. He was dead. He couldn't violate me, but he did try, didn't he? She holds her head in her hands, shaking, her voice becoming thick. The two strands of memory, this is pulling me apart. She looks up at you, tears streaming down her cheeks. No, it's pulling me back together. I remember now. That hole it's almost gone. You changed reality. You changed it. She stands, drying her tears with her sleeves. I don't know if you meant to do that, but you've done more than your part of the deal. You asked about the resonance chamber, I know it. Masov's the guy you want. He's the guy, he can fix anything. He might even have helped design the chamber we're talking about. Your best bet is to look for him in the cast-off sanctuary, Miel Avest. Where can I find Miel Avest? Word of caution, they won't believe you in Miel Avest. They'll treat you like they treat every new cast-off, as a pawn in their games with each other. Look out for that. She walks to her table and unrolls a map of the Sagus Protectorate. You're not going to find it by walking there. The entrance is secret, known only to our kind. Here, she points to a spot on the map, many kilometers to the northeast of Sagus Cliffs. The Valley of Dead Heroes. There's a hidden portal in the necropolis. Also, memorize this. She writes the numbers 3431 down on a slip of paper, holds it in front of your eyes for several seconds, then crumbles it in her hand. It's a code. It'll make sense when you get to the necropolis. 3431, okay. You'll need an airship to get to the valley. The ladder over there leads up to the caravanserai. You should be able to hire a ship without too much difficulty.
Updated my journal.
Alright, I got level up.
Forward. Onward.
Increased edge. We haven't used that much speed. It's usually might or intellect. Mostly might. Yeah, let's go with might.
I understand now.
Alright. So, I think that's gonna do it for today. Made it quite far. We found Matkina. We hopped in some memories and stuff. So, yeah, I am going to continue this tomorrow. And I will see you all then. Thanks for watching.